Greetings! My name is Stacy Cram. On behalf of the First Presidency and Presiding Bishopric, I want to provide you a brief financial update for the World Church. I also want to invite you to read the more detailed report and frequently asked questions at the web address listed below. This report reflects actions completed since the Presiding Bishopric report to the June 2016 World Conference. I want to thank the Church for its amazing generosity. The year 2016 was very tough as the Church laid off gifted friends and colleagues to reduce the worldwide mission budget. Amid these difficulties, the Church pulled together through the March 2016 grassroots effort. This effort resulted in increased pledges to worldwide mission ties for 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. On November 29, 2016, the Church shared over $300,000 on Giving Tuesday through the generous support of Worldwide Mission Ties. Then, in December 2016, the Church met the challenge of giving more than $2 million in Worldwide Mission Ties to wrap up the calendar year. At the time of this recording, the generosity in 2016 led to over $16 million shared in worldwide mission ties. This exceeded the goal by almost $1 million. It showed an outpouring of love and commitment to the mission of the Church, supported through the worldwide mission budget. Thank you. As 2017 unfolds, World Church leaders are excited to see how the Church will continue to support local and worldwide mission ties. This means the continuing generosity of the Church is supporting the Church's current staffing levels as budgeted in fiscal year 2017 and planned in the proposed fiscal year 2018 budget. World Church leaders are preparing the fiscal year 2018 budget now, which will begin July 1st, 2017. The World Church Finance Board will act on this budget in June 2017. Since the 2016 World Conference, the Presiding Bishopric has completed 3 important tasks to further quantify the World Church's financial circumstances. First, Fiscal Services completed the financial audit for the fiscal year which ended on June 30th, 2016. The First Presidency and Presiding Bishopric now are awaiting the independent auditor's report, which will be presented to the World Church Finance Board in June. Second, the Presiding Bishopric hired a new firm to appraise its investment real estate in the Harmony Project, which is 3,250 acres in the Little Blue River Valley of Jackson County, Missouri. Third, the Presiding Bishopric received updated actuarial information and projections about the World Church's retirement responsibility and cash flow needs through the years. With these tasks complete, the Presiding Bishopric has a solid understanding of the actions required to strengthen the World Church financially. Previously, the Presiding Bishopric reported an expected reduction in the value of the World Church's total net assets from June 30th, 2015 to June 30th, 2016. The unaudited decrease is now estimated at $88 million. The written report describes more about this drop and the 4 contributing causes. I briefly want to discuss the 2 largest causes. First, the Presiding Bishopric committed to the Church to work with an additional firm to appraise its land in the Harmony Project. For purposes of comparison, the Presiding Bishopric also got an updated appraisal from the firm that has appraised the property for more than a decade. After reviewing both, the Presiding Bishopric decided to use the new appraisal for fiscal year 2016. The new appraised value is significantly less than on June 30th, 2015. This was the largest cause of the decrease in the World Church's total net assets. The general operating and temple endowment's main investment is this real estate. Therefore, the reduced appraisal further lowered the balances in these endowments. Second, the presiding bishopric decided a lower interest rate should be used in calculating the church's retirement obligation. This increased the estimate for fulfilling the church's retirement responsibilities. In addition to the decrease of the World Church's net assets in fiscal year 2016, the presiding bishopric is quantifying an additional decrease expected in fiscal year 2017. When I shared in February 2016 that a major shift was needed to rebuild the financial strength of the World Church, I explained the process would take a long time. The steps described in the written report and that I'm summarizing here are part of this continuing process to quantify, evaluate, and make decisions that move us into a stronger future. President Veazey challenged the church in a statement at the 2016 World Conference to build a bridge of hope to the future. In this challenge, he shared the goals for the worldwide mission and Canadian Reserve endowments. The First Presidency and Presiding Bishopric remain committed to working with the church in building this bridge of hope. But we need to broaden the focus beyond building up the two new endowments announced at World Conference. To provide a way forward, the Presiding Bishopric has developed a two-part approach for improving the church's financial health. First, the church is called to support its global mission today. Worldwide mission ties provide this support. Individuals, families, and groups such as congregations or mission centers give consistent and increasing worldwide mission ties to fund current ministries and services. Second, the church is called to support future mission. This includes providing for the church's retirement responsibility and building the World Church's endowments, specifically the Temple, Worldwide Mission, and Canadian Reserve endowments. The presiding bishopric has grouped funding the church's retirement responsibilities and building the World Church's endowments into the Bridge of Hope project. Funding for this project will be sought in three ways. First, the presiding bishopric is evaluating the prospect of selling some historic assets. Consideration is also being given to properties that do not directly support the church's mission. Assets will be sold if a satisfactory price can be negotiated. Second, the presiding bishopric will reach out to congregations, mission centers, and other groups that have investment holdings to request one-time or recurring contributions to Bridge of Hope ties. Third, the First Presidency and Presiding Bishopric are asking people who already have donated or pledged to the Worldwide Mission Endowment to redesignate their gifts to Bridge of Hope ties. Several families already have done this. Additional individuals and families also will be invited to share from their abundance or through their bequests to support Bridge of Hope ties. I encourage you to read the written report for further details about the Bridge of Hope project and how you and your congregation can help. Last year, I shared that the church has faced financial challenges like this before and referenced the debt reduction years of 1931 to 1938. Building on the Way Out, a 5-point approach used in 1931, the presiding bishopric continues to use lessons from our past to inform the financial decisions of our present. 1. The church has reduced staff and expenses to work within a balanced and sustainable budget based on worldwide mission ties and other projected cash sources of income. 2. World Church leaders will continue to limit expansion until the increase in worldwide mission ties appears sustainable and cash income can be provided through endowments. 3. The presiding bishopric is evaluating the prospect of selling some historic assets. Consideration is also being given to properties that do not directly support the church's mission. 4. The church is invited to support worldwide mission ties through sustainable giving and share from its abundance to achieve the goals of the Bridge of Hope project, which will fund the church's retirement responsibility and build endowments while responsibly discharging debts. And 5. As disciples and ministers, we are all called to preach and teach generosity and living to our true capacity in all aspects of our lives, including our finances. This calling is not because the church is in the fundraising business, but because the church is in the disciple and stewardship formation business. The church is called to respond to the challenge in Doctrine and Covenants, section 147, paragraph 5a. Stewardship is the response of my people to the ministry of my Son and is required alike of all those who seek to build the kingdom. And more recently, from Doctrine and Covenants, section 165, paragraphs 2a and e. Free the full capacity of Christ's mission through generosity that imitates God's generosity. Stewardship as a response to the ministry of Christ is more than individual giving. It includes the generosity of congregations and jurisdictions that give to worldwide ministries of the church to strengthen community in Christ in all nations. Through the church's history, we learn the response of the church was amazing to President Frederick M. Smith's debt reduction program and the presiding bishop's statement, The Way Out. Through our story, we witness how God is always with us, calling us forward. We also recognize that blessings of community are realized not only in the best of times, but in the most difficult times. We can step out with hope that actions the church took in the 1930s and that we are taking now are not just the way out. Our actions are the way forward as we faithfully respond together with whole life stewardship for the sake of the kingdom. Together, we can live Christ's mission today and build a bridge of hope to the future.